On the 12th day of Vlogmas, Ouchmouths voted Labour. That is my Christmas present to myself. And I think everybody else should vote, obviously. Let's just talk about our right to vote while we have it. I'm going to make coffee. So I'm going to put you should still be able to see me. Cool. Vote today while you still have the right to vote. Because the idea of voter ID is a bad one. It doesn't always have to be bad, but under the Conservative Party, it is a direct attack on our democracy. Big words, Max, big words. Yes, big words, because it's important. Voter ID where we stand now would leave out millions of people living in poverty, people not quite living in poverty but with not much money. It leaves out, concentrate. It leaves out trans people, it leaves out disabled people, and these are all the kinds of people that are more likely to vote Labour. Obviously that's not 100% a given, but generally poor people don't vote Tories because we like our NHS, and disabled people definitely like our NHS. That I'm not afraid to make a sweeping statement on. Strong boy. So yeah, implementing voter ID laws without removing any of the barriers to getting ID is a direct attack on democracy, because that is cherry picking who can and can't vote. If you can only vote when you've got ID, and you won't give people ID because they're trans and you can't verify their identity, happened to me so many times, I'll get onto it, or people don't have access to support in filling out the forms and applying for this ID, so disabled people, people who just plain old cannot afford it because the cost of a passport is about £100. I have already been denied a passport once because they couldn't verify my identity because of my legal name change, because of the way that this country treats trans people. They shot themselves in the foot and they shot me in the back. Even though I sent in my birth certificate, my deed poll, my national insurance number and 3 arbitrary letters proving that I am who I say I am using my name, and I am where I say I live. And they were like, no, sorry. And it's close to £100, which you can't really get back if they decide not to give you a passport. That's just money gone, and I cannot afford that. A lot of people don't know what an MX title is, so because I'm non-binary, the best legal title for me to use that I am comfortable with is MX. Not Miss, not Mr, not Mrs, MX. It's Mix or Mixter. I prefer Mixter because my name is Max. And the amount of places I have been denied from that aren't even like legal necessity because they don't know what an MX is ridiculous. I deserve to not have my right to vote denied because somebody hasn't educated somebody on all the possible titles that one can have. Like, nobody's going to remove that barrier under the Conservative government that we currently have. Well, it's like a hung parliament at the moment. Like, nobody's teaching people this, so that won't be implemented. They won't take down the cost of ID. They won't make any sort of contribution to a fund so poor people can get ID. PIP, personal independence payments, so it's like our UK disability payments thing, you barely even call it that. They are not going to put more funding into that, so disabled people aren't going to be able to access funding to get somebody to help them get ID. And disabled people, we already struggle enough getting there. I'm fortunate enough to actually live within walking distance, and by walking distance I mean my walking distance, of my polling station. They all claim to be accessible, but they're really not. Like, they're really not. So we already have that barrier. And then to be, oh yeah, you need this certain ID. No thank you. Black and minority ethnic people, BAME, they are going to struggle. Obviously I'm white and I am not as well versed in how it affects them as I'd like to be, but that is a big issue. And I know it's a big issue on immigration as well, because they already struggle getting ID. That's a thing. I will put some links down in the description to more on that. But also, we need our NHS, so I can't not vote Labour, considering my audiology appointment was cancelled and rescheduled, and then I was dropped 4 or 5 times before ever making it to audiology because, sorry, you don't need us. I'm like, yeah, but you've never looked. How do you know? So you didn't even get an assessment, and then by the time I got there, which was like 11 months after my first referral, when the waiting list is not that long, they're like, oh yeah, maybe you could have come in before. You've been suffering for a while. And my allergist appointment? Oh, I was going to have a Vlogmas video about my allergist appointment, but they rescheduled it for no good reason. It was supposed to be on the 18th of this month, and it is now going to be in January 2020 if they don't cancel it before then. I've already been waiting 11 months. We're not going to talk about Brexit in this video. Refuse. I don't care about Brexit, to be honest, either way. I just don't care. But another policy that I've heard from the Conservative Party of why we're voting Conservative is about employment, and more specifically, they want people to not have access to benefits. And if you're new here, I am on universal credit because I am considered too sick to work. I am not too sick to work. I send out one job application every week, like professional, full-time, in a lab, in science, job application. And having good universal healthcare, having our NHS is number one in getting our employment rating up, because if we can treat people, we can get people healthier. And not all disabilities and chronic illnesses and injuries and conditions can be treated, but the ones that can don't have to sit on a waiting list for 11 months to get it sorted out, while people say, why don't you just get a job? It's like, because I can't hear anything, Susan. So we need our NHS so we can improve employment ratings. We need our NHS so people don't die unnecessarily. I shouldn't have to list all the reasons why we need our NHS. Drugs are expensive. Treatments are expensive. For people with pancreatic cancer, when they get diagnosed, it is a really aggressive cancer. You need to treat it like now. But they are on waiting lists for, it's like 3 to 6 months to start treatment because there aren't enough doctors, because our NHS isn't funding enough doctors. And Boris Johnson saying he's going to bring us 50,000 more nurses by letting us keep the 19,000 we've already got, but promising to deport way more people than could ever be considered necessary, and not putting any more money into the NHS to actually employ these nurses, not giving any financial incentive for nurses to train as nurses, or any other incentive for nurses to train as nurses, and not putting any more money into education to help provide these nurses. There's no nursing bursary. Where are these nurses coming from? Some sort of magic money tree, or I'm just going to say it and people will do, because that is not what happens. Put my coffee on while it's there. So yeah, definitely get out and vote while you still can, because that isn't guaranteed for that much longer, I don't think, because voter ID laws would be terrible, because none of the barriers to getting ID will or have been removed. Vote, 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 vote. This has become more of a rant than I meant it to be. Don't forget to vote, it's very important, and also don't forget to like this video, Subscribe to my channel for not many more political videos like this, hopefully, but chronic illness stuff, trauma stuff, queer stuff, hearing loss stuff, all kinds of things. And ring that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a new video. Videos go up every Saturday at 6 PM UK time with at least one bonus video every single month, apart from this month, which is Vlogmas, so there are 25 videos in 25 days. This is number 12. Don't forget to vote. See ya!